No.
I don't agree with.
Your teeth.
They're not made to eat animals.
No, your teeth.
Yeah.
The enzymes in your body, they're all there to digest animal proteins.
No.
That's the biology.
I don't agree. And that I don't agree, not just with Islam in general. I think.
Why does a lion eat a zebra?
Do you know that the Italian, what do you call them? The guys that lived in the Roman Empire. Okay, help me there. Sarah, who were the Italian men that were vegetarians in the Roman Empire?
I think it was Italian. We're talking about the.
Tell me. Come on. Where you have the Roman Empire. Tell me. Gladiators. Here you go.
Gladiators, right.
So they've done a lot of researches over the years where they've shown gladiators were the men of the time. They were the strongest, the fastest, they were vegetarian.
Were they vegetarian in their biological makeup?
Our bodies are not made to eat animals. And that I'm not, let's say, contesting against Islam per se. I'm contesting it against
Science.
generally.
You're contesting against biology.
No.
The biological makeup is...
Our human race
Do you have a biology background?
was not made to eat animals.
No, it's not made to eat.
When the meat comes into your stomach, it becomes to rot.
Can you eat cement?
No.
Why not?
Well, you die from it.
No, why do we die from it? It's cement, it's not poison.
You get poison.
So why can we not digest?
Meat is the slow poison.
No.
If you eat it over the years,
Daria, I just want to...
You get a cancer.
That's what
happens.
Just want to highlight a point.
Slower reaction.
The reason why we can digest meat and we can't digest cement, there's a reason for it.
Okay, tell me.
Okay? Because of the biology, the makeup.
Right.
What we have in our digestive system, in terms of the acids and the other hormones and proteins that helps us to digest, okay, it can digest certain things. It can digest animal proteins. It cannot digest, for example, cement. So, in our biology, there is a makeup already. So you can't just simply say, you know what, I'm going to force a lion to eat grass from now on.
Yes.
The lion, within its biology, is already designed, made to eat other animals.
But maybe I would have liked religion more if we were taught to be kind to every humankind, not just...
That's what Islam says.
Well, animals are...
Do you know how Islam treats an animals?
How? Dogs are not... Dogs are bad animals.
Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. There are examples of dogs that are prohibited because these particular dogs are like Satan embodied themselves, or some personification of Satan or something like that. Okay. But you can have guard dogs and so on. Yeah, of course you can, right? We have a companion named Abu Huraira. We have a companion named Abu Huraira. Do you know why he's called Abu Huraira?
No.
Because he had a cat. And he loved this cat. He cat would come all the time with him. He's like, the father of the cat.
Slaughtering goats, for me, is still...
No, you can emotionally feel...
Yeah. Animals have feelings, and this is what I'm also challenging.
Do you eat...
I don't eat meat,
do you eat vegetables?
I do, yes.
Do you know trees also have feelings?
No, not the same way. They don't have brains.
Wait. You don't need brain.
They don't have nervous system.
Now, this is
same as animals do.
This is where the problem lies, I think. There's a whole new domain of science called plant neurobiology.
Okay.
You were not aware of that, were you? Please go and study this. Plant neurobiology, in which they are demonstrating how plants can have feeling, suffer pain, and so on and so forth.
Can you slaughter a goat yourself, if you have to?
If I have to, yeah, why not? I haven't tried it, I don't remember. But no.
Because we are so accustomed going to the supermarket where everything is slaughtered and we just pick it up from the shelf and
Daria,
it's like, okay, I can eat it, but when you have to do it yourself...
Yeah, I think I've done it before. If you're really emotional because you've already, like, for example, I will find it very difficult to slaughter, very young lambs and something like this because they're very cute, right? And in Islam, we don't even for udhiyah, there has to be a certain age before they are sacrificed.
Okay.
You can't slaughter the very young ones under a particular age, isn't that correct? I think maybe under a particular age you can't slaughter animals for udhiyah. There has to be a particular age.
Right.
Yeah. So people are naturally very inclined to feeling of love and compassion and mercy with the very young ones. So that's why, at one point I was living in Syria and we had ducks and chickens that we raised. There's no way I can eat them. So when we left, after a year when we left that country, I had to give it to a young chap, say, okay, look after them. I'm not sure whether he ate them or not, look after them. Because you are so attached to it. Likewise, when people are attached to animals and so on, of course you don't feel like you can eat them. But we consider something differently. For example, trees, you think like there's no feeling, but yes, when you pluck a leaf from a tree, do you know what happens? Chemical signals from one leaf goes to all the other leaves, saying danger, 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 look, someone's harming you. When a caterpillar starts eating the leaf, this is the chemical signal. We have seen it. Now they have with technology, you can actually see the chemical signals with the calcium ions and so on, how it goes all around. Amazing. They have feelings. People often also.
Are you talking about the plants?
I'm talking about plants. I'm talking about plants of feelings. I'm talking about plants, they raise and rear their youngs. They look after them. I mean, this is a whole new science. I mean, books are written, articles. So we should stop eating trees and plants like that. Where do you stop?
What are you teaching here?
Okay, we were discussing about, Islam,
Right.
and you believe there is a higher power.
Right.
So I would rather say, if you really believe in a higher power, take it one step further. What are the attributes of this higher power? And why is this higher power created you or brought you into existence?
Right.
Because your mom and dad didn't bring you into existence, they were just the means. Do you know, people often think, our mom and dad gave us life.
Right.
If they had the ability, if I died as a child, it would give me life again and again and again. But the fact that they can't means they didn't have the power to give us life.
Okay.
They only means.
Okay.
So if God gave us life, for what reason? What is the purpose of our life? There is a purpose
What
of
is
your...
the purpose of your life?
Exactly.
Can you share that with me?
Yeah,
What
I
is
can.
it?
Simply to worship God. In the Quran, our Creator tells us,
And
He
you
has
care
not...
about doing nicer things in life, to educate yourself, to spend time with the family.
It has nothing to
I
do
don't
with
know.
this thing. It is different thing.
Now,
No, but
this...
how do you find time?
Let's-
Worship doesn't mean that you shouldn't do this thing.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah,
So
100%.
the
Worshiping
concept of
even-
worship.
One second, brother. Sorry, one second. Allah subhanahu الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم العمل عبادة صحيح. Like working is worshiping as well. In its context, when I'm working, I'm worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
If I smile at my brother, that's worship. How is that so?
It's a lifestyle.
As I said, if I take something from a thorn from the road, that's worship.
Right.
So worship simply doesn't mean going to a mosque or a temple or a gurudwara or a church, whatever. Worship means you do things whatever your God, your Creator is pleased with. So I follow the wills of my Creator, and by doing that, I've submitted to Him and surrendered to Him, and that's worship.
What do you think of people like me, who is non-believer?
As an intelligent human being, your next step is what I can direct you to. Your next step,
But what do you think of me being non-believer and me living my life the way I am without associating my life to, like I said, certain religion or
So,
practice?
as I see,
Yes.
from what I can understand with my limited experience about
Yeah.
what you think,
Yeah.
what you are someone who believes in a higher power.
Right.
That means there are essential next steps to take. As Muslim, in every single prayer, 17 times a day at least, we say, establish us, guide us on the straight path.
Okay.
Even though we have that path, but we are constantly praying to remain on that path. The path of those that God is pleased with, the prophets and the messengers and the righteous ones, and not the path of those who has earned God's anger, the one who went totally astray, or because of So for you, the way I see it is, you are living a path already. The question is, the path that you should take is the best path. And Islam tells you the best path is offered by God and His Messenger through the Quran
But look,
and the prophetic teaching.
I have a very hectic job where I have to work, I have to perform 9 hours of the day, where I have to think about my team, all my KPIs I need to hit. I have zero time to think about God. How do you fit that in?
Sure. I have
Where
perhaps...
you have so much to do every day that you basically don't know where to place.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين
I don't speak Arabic.
You
sorry.
will translate.
Well, speak in English to me. I don't want to hear Arabic.
It's for them, not for you. لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين
It's because when we're talking about the Quran, that's the Quran.
Right.
أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم إن الله يحب المقسطين. Allah does not forbid you from those who do not fight you because of your religion, because of religion.
Right.
I do not expel you from your home, from being righteous toward them,
Right.
and acting justly reality more. Actually, the translation, if I want to translate it my own way, and tabarruhum, which is the best manners of acting with the other person. Even like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can say with the highest manners with others, can Allah obligated us to be number one with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger, then parents, then disbelievers. So these are the top people. People on the top who should be treated the best with the best manners. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So how do you treat your team then? Let's say you have a team. How do you treat
May I come back to your example? I work, even though it's like 7.5 hours a day, 35 hours a week or something like this, most of the time I'm late at work in a hospital, right? So I have team to manage. I have to do all these things, doing date access and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of hard work, okay? Managing the team and working for the team, individually, collectively, but still, we can make time. Just like you make time for your lunch break, your tea break, you make time to have discussion with your friend, you can make time for God, you can make time for your own self.
Okay.
Your own self. Because worship is not that God says 24-hour a day on a temple doing this. No.
Some people do that.
Yeah,
Choose to do
but
that,
in
right?
Islam, whatever you do that is in accordance with God's will, God says so, and in accordance with it, that becomes worship. The examples I give you about, like, brother, how are you? Smiling at my brother is worship.
Cool.
Can you imagine what worship encompasses? So if I am now in my team speaking to them in honesty and truthfulness, that's my worship in action. I'm being truthful.
Yeah.
If I am being reliable, don't break my promises, that's worship in actions. So even in my dealings at workplace, when I do that, that's part of my worship in action.
Okay.
Yeah? So it is easy. So for yourself, as I said, the next direction, next step, recommendation, not I'm asking you or telling you, this is because you believe in a higher power already, is to take that next step and say, okay, fine, why this creator created me? And I mentioned too, for worship, to acknowledge him as your creator and to surrender your will. Because if there's a purpose in this life, which there is, your coat has a purpose, your shoes have a purpose, your glasses have a purpose, you have a purpose too, and that purpose is not simply to be happy and to make others happy.
It's also not being worshipping to God all the time.
No, it's not about all the time. The other things you do.
Yeah.
We don't neglect this life.
Yeah.
And only consider the hereafter, the real life, because this life we can live but within boundaries.
Yeah.
And you accept that there has to be boundaries. You can't just do whatever you do. In your team, can you just act like a dictator? No, you can't, because
Sometimes I can.
yeah, but then they won't like you.
Boss.
But it sounds like you guys agree.
Then you regret it.
Yes,
It sounds like
we do.
besides who you believe in, it sounds like you agree. You both agree that you need to respect one another. Both agree that there's something else. You both agree on a lot. It's just you don't agree on the same higher power.
Yeah.
And I don't think that someone needs to change paths to agree on that. If someone is not Muslim or they are Muslim, whatever, as long as they're trying to be a good person, as long as they're respecting one another, then you guys are in a perfect agreement. No?
You see, the reason why.
I'm curious to learn about another religion.
On the verse of Ibrahim alayhi salam. He
Right.
said,
I think we
"He is
should
my
make a
praise,"
move,
and
right?
all of his life was
Yeah, we've got to go.
Yes, brother.
Guys, thank you so much. I
It's all right.
appreciate your honest
Right.
feedback and really
Yeah.
good conversation.
So I know.
I'm taking back with you. Well, with me.
Yeah. We would. I'll be really happy if you take the next step
Okay.
in your own ways, and then you'll realize when you're on a journey of self-realization and self-betterment. That's jihad. Self-betterment, to improve yourself or your obstacles. Like, rather than just this, you fight your own self to make things better for your own self and for the community and for the whole world. That path will take you to God. Eventually, the final abode. That should be our ultimate aim for our life. Because if, for example, imagine I just go for an exam without not knowing what the exam is and sit there and think I'll pass. It's not going to happen, is it? We have to prepare for it.
I hope you're
so
gonna do
let's
I will
hope.
go back and
I hope you're going to do
reflect on
good
what you
self
said.
today.
Thank
All the
you.
best. All the best.
Cheers.
You take care.
She's from Russia.
It's all right.
Oh, really? She must be from poor country like America.
I don't know why people have to make all these excuses. Anyway, you take care. Welcome, assalam wa Can you give me the footage at the beginning, inshallah? Send it to me.
Inshallah.
Yeah? I wasn't willing initially.
I know.